Hello and welcome to Cup2Hook Conversations number 54. My name is Cynthia with Cynthia's Joyful Creations, and I am ready for a wonderful, fabulous night. I hope everyone has had a great week. And right now, I am talking to myself because no one's here with me, but that's okay. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I am feeling the joy of Friday. I love spending time with all of my friends. So welcome in. So I'm going to give this just a few minutes to let some people come in. And if not, then I'll just go ahead and get started. And all of my wonderful friends and joy seekers can watch the replay. So what is in your cup today? Today, I'm drinking out of my Enjoy Every Moment mug. That smells so good. I am drinking hot tea. I will be drinking coffee later during movie night, but in my cup is Apple Harvest Garden Fresh tea. And this is the little wrapper that came on it. Hopefully you can see that. So that is what I'm drinking, Apple Harvest Garden Fresh tea. This came from some of the tea that I got from Tuesday morning. So as soon as it cools down, I will let you know how it tastes. Because if you know anything about me, I love the apple cinnamon herbal tea. So I am really curious to see what this Apple Harvest tea tastes like. So tell me what's in your cup. And tell me what is on your hook. I don't have anything new to share today on my hook. I know, what? Nothing new to share? Oh my gosh. But it doesn't mean that I have not been crocheting, because I have been working on the midwife blankets. And I do have quite a few new family members. So thank you for joining our wonderful Joyful Creations family. And you may not know what I'm talking about when I refer to the midwife. So real briefly, we just started watching Call the Midwife on Netflix. And tonight we will be having our second night. And I welcome everyone to come join us. If you ever have to miss a night, do not worry, because your points accumulate over time, and points go towards a grand giveaway when we finish Call the Midwife. But every Friday night, there will be one winner for one small giveaway. And your points carry over. So even if you miss a night, the next time you come back, those points will be added the previous time you're with me. And the great thing about it is I have bonus questions from the show. And those bonus questions can get you 3 points. So like tonight, I have 8 bonus questions. So that's 24 extra points that somebody could get. So if you missed tonight and you got a good bit of bonus questions, you could catch up, and it would be like you never missed. So hopefully you'll come join us. But there's 3 projects we're doing. They come out on Mondays under Fun Day Monday. And so I've been busy working on those 3 projects. Plus I've been working on the project for Yarn Joy Adventures for this coming Sunday, and then for the one coming in 2 weeks. So I'm kind of working a little bit ahead, which makes me feel great. So that way, if there's a day that I just need to rest, I don't have to worry or stress that I'm not going to get something done. Plus, I spent a lot more time this week looking at some of our new channels and getting to know some of our our joy seekers a little bit better. So this coming Saturday, there will be 4 content creators that I will be introducing. Perhaps you already know them, perhaps they're not new to you, but if they are, I hope that you will go over and check them out. And speaking of Saturday shout outs, let's talk about our shout outs from last week. Hello, Roseanne. It is so good to have you. She says, hi, I have water in my cup and nothing on my hook until Monday with the next videos. I hear you, my friend. I do have to tell you that you just made my heart smile when not even a full 24 hours after those videos went out on Monday, and you sent me an email with the first set of pictures of your project, and that you had already done that row of 9 blocks. My heart smiled so big. So you just not only set joy in my heart that day, you gave me joy the rest of the week, which actually inspired me to spend time working on those projects to make sure that I am staying up with them so those videos go out on time at 4 o'clock, not 8, 9 o'clock at night, but they did go out on Monday. So I was very happy for that. But you have been an inspiration for me to make sure that I stay ahead so that you guys are not missing out on anything. Do you have your timer on tonight? I don't have my timer for this video, but I do have it out with the Woot Woot train, ready to start right at 9:15. Oh, that's good. And she's referring to her inspiring me. Hello, Miss Shirley. She says, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, Shirley. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh my gosh. I hope you've been reading your comments that I have responded to. You just continue to warm my heart. I tell you, as I mentioned on the angel video comment, you have been an angel that has just swooped in and just made my heart so happy. And I do value and appreciate your friendship. Miss Roseanne says, hi, Shirley. And Shirley says, yes, I do. That is awesome. So therefore, I'm kind of sad that I don't really have anything to show y'all today, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So my first priority are the 3 midwife blankets and making sure that all 3 projects, are ready to go, like I said, on Mondays. So those are always at the top of the week, the first things that are on my hooks. And I'm not going to show you anymore. I mean, you've kind of seen, what the project's going to look like already, but and then, like I said, I've been working on Yarn Joy Adventures for this coming Sunday and for the episode that will air in 2 weeks from this Sunday. And then spending time on some I can't even speak, on some Joy Seeker channels, just trying to get to know them better so that I can bring their best quality material to you. Not that all their material is not quality, but if I'm going to highlight, I want to make sure I'm bringing the best so that you will definitely go over and check them out. And so we were going to talk about our content creators from last Saturday. And hello, Mare. She says, hi, Yarny friends. Shirley says, well, thank you. And you are my angel. All our yarn friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. So last week, there were 3 content creators that we recognized, and one of them was Laura's Craft Room. And I spent some time trying to get to know Laura and let her know how much, even though I'm not really taking away anything crochet from her channel, I love watching her channel. I love watching her take something that is nothing and make something beautiful with it. And she has given me so many ideas. I consider myself a crafty person, and yet some of the ideas she comes up with, it's like, I can do that. And I know who would love to have that. And that would make a great birthday gift or a great anniversary present or a Christmas gift. And so I love watching Laura's channel. I actually will grab a project and sit down and just go see if she's put out any new videos now. So again, she's not and it's not that she doesn't crochet, because she does, but she just does it all. And I love how she goes to like the Goodwills and the thrift shops, and she finds these hidden gems and just makes them into the most beautiful masterpieces. So definitely check her out if you haven't yet. Sarah's Little Corner of the Crochet World. You want to talk about joy? She is a definition of joy. I just love listening to her talk. She is so encouraging and so cute and so funny and very, very talented. Love her makes. And so definitely go check her out. And then Yarn and Pajamas. She is very, very new to me. I have only really kind of been a part of her channel for the last maybe two and a half weeks. And she also is very talented. She has made several things that I want to make, some things that are out of my comfort zone. So I am letting her be an inspiration to me to just grab a hook and try it. And I love the fact that she does this movie thing with some other folks on the Yarny community, where they watch a movie, but they have a letter. And whatever that letter is, they pick a movie of their choosing with that letter. And then they come back and they talk about the movie. Well, she has gone even a little step further in the fact that she is making granny squares and putting the capital and lowercase letter on those granny squares. And so I love that idea. And I asked her if she was planning on making, like a blanket out of that. And she said, perhaps so. So I will be watching to see that put together. Shirley says, hi, Roseanne and Mayor. And is that the one with the guitar? Laura's craft room is, yes. She took the guitar that I was telling you about and made shelves out of it. And I absolutely love that. So I am not willing to cut open my Keith Urban guitar. So I told my husband, if you're ever in a thrift shop without me, because it sometimes happens, he sometimes will go over and check out Goodwill when I was at PT, but if you're ever in there and you find a guitar that's kind of broken down a little bit, like it's missing strings or whatever, but the base of it is still good, please pick it up. So I showed him the picture and he fell in love with that. And I think that that is a really great idea. And I would love to do something like that for my son. He's a drummer more so than a guitar player, but he does play acoustic and electric guitar as well. And I thought how cool that would be to do as a Christmas gift for him. And then not only, thinking future wise with grandsons, that would be an excellent, gift to gift into their room. And it's something so easy. And my husband actually is very talented when it comes to woodworking. And so that would be something that he could start doing if he wanted as his yarn craft, and have not only, joy out of doing that, but then joy out of making it for gifts and possibly selling. So, yeah, wouldn't that be cool? So, of course, he joked that if he did that, then when we were retired, we were talking about this actually yesterday afternoon, that instead of getting a little cabin with 2 rooms in it, one for our bedroom and a guest room, we would have to definitely find one that has a basement that we could possibly divide and have a a woodworking shop and then a yarn shop. But there'd have to be a divider because no wood particles are going to get into my yarn. But anyway, he had a woodworking shop in the backyard, but we ended up transforming it into a studio apartment. and that's where his brother stays with us, and he lives there. So yeah, so all of his woodworking stuff is kind of like, on hold in the garage. But anyway, but that is cool. But yes, Shirley, that is where the guitar came from. Roseanne says, hi, Mare. Mare says, you shouldn't highlight me until I show more of the things I do. That is your decision then, Mare. But please let me know, because I am almost ready to finish processing that video. So I can copy that over to another editing program to save for later. But I need to know. I almost went ahead and uploaded it for tomorrow before we came on. So let me know before we get out of this live if you want me to wait just a minute. And if so, then I'm going to go grab another person, because I'm going to make sure I got 4 people tomorrow. But if not, maybe it'll just motivate you to get busy, because you are way busy already. And your hook, and I'm not talking about just work, I'm talking your hook. Your hook is busier than my hook is. And I definitely have at least 4 projects for tutorials going every week. Your hook is always busy. So, and you definitely have to get your mosaic blankets up there. I know everybody is dying and waiting to see those. So, speaking of channels, and let me see if she's come on here yet. Shirley says, I love that. Yes, I love the guitar idea. Mary says, hi, Shirley, Roseanne, Cynthia, and whoever I missed. Love it, love it. You guys, little Miss Bree, she's been talking to me for months now about wanting to really get her channel started. And she sent me a text 2 days ago. And when I got on to watch her video she uploaded, Mare, thank you. You were the first one and the only one at that time who had left a comment. But I am so excited and so happy. She's been wanting to do this for a long time. And so she did a yarn haul video, and she did the hardest part. She just did it. That's the biggest fear, is just getting started and doing it. And so I am so happy for her. So if you know Bree and you're in the live right now, I mean, if you'll just do a little hand emoji for her, because I know if she doesn't come in, she'll come back and watch the replay. And I would love for her to see that and be encouraged. Because for those of you who are content creators like me, it's hard getting started. I mean, it's more than just figuring out how to do it and how to get it up and edit and all that. But it's the courage and, stepping outside of your comfort zone. And I don't know. To me, it's not talking to people. It's talking to this camera. That was what my biggest fear was getting over talking to the camera. But I'm so happy and I'm so proud of her. And I just continue to want to watch her as she grows. I knew it, Mare. That's what I'm talking about. Your hook is busy. So when I say busier, I don't necessarily mean your hook and your job and your life. I'm just talking about you need to share all those beautiful, joyful creations with us on your channel. But where's the time to actually videotape, right? But as she's saying, she says, I saw it. Yep, there it is. I started another corner to corner baby blanket and the matching owl is done. So what are you doing your corner to corner? Are you doing like any kind of GraphGam picture in it, or is it just a corner to corner? Shirley says, I am drinking water and completed the first strip of the Love baby blanket. Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, do not forget to send me pictures and send me, if you can, pictures as you progress. You can send them to me in email. You can even send them to me on Instagram, Facebook. It'll let me know. Email's probably the best way, just because it'll be there and I'll see it faster. But yep, I talked with Mr. Joyful, and we have decided together, because I have to have his support right now, as he is the only breadwinner at the moment. But we have the grand giveaway for movie night, and then every Friday night there's a small little giveaway that'll be given. Well, we've decided that, just like with the Longmire, everyone who sends in pictures and shows me that they were working on a blanket in the midwife vicinity, then we are going to make a conglomerate video of that, just like we are with the Longmire. And there will be another giveaway for those folks. So if you're making a blanket, please make sure you send me pictures. And then from the movie night, I am doing something else. I'm not really going to elaborate on this, but all I'm going to tell you is there will be another giveaway that will be given at the end for those who are playing the game. And I'll know you're playing the game because I'll have points for you. And so, since I'm not really going to push and advertise that giveaway, just know there's a possibility of winning 3 big giveaways from this Call the Midwife, plus the little tiny gifts that will go out on Fridays. So the giveaways that are going to be given out on Friday nights, please understand they will be very, very small gifts. Because right now, again, and this is the only thing I'm saying about my situation, is right now I don't have any income coming in. So there's no job, there's no disability at the current moment. So I have to be very careful. I sent off some stitch markers today, and just this tiny little package like this was $4.15. So, well, that's not a lot when you don't have that income and your husband's carrying your weight of the bills. It is. So, and I don't want to zone on that. I didn't even want to really go there, but I'm just saying, because some people may not understand why this is it. And so I'm being very upfront and honest. Moving along, I do want to mention that, speaking of giveaways, I currently have a giveaway going on. It uploaded last night. If you've not seen it, go check it out. I do believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but let me take a look real quick, that I put the link in tonight's video, and I did. So in the description box, even now, you will find the link to that giveaway video. I have a dear, sweet Yarny sister in our beautiful community who got in touch with me and said, I want to do something for you. And the biggest way she could do something for me is if she helped me do something for you. So therefore, she is the reason we're able to do this giveaway. And I'm excited. It's going to last a week. So we will come together sometime after 7 o'clock next Thursday night on June 24th, and we will do the random YouTube comment picker and pick a winner. And so I'm very excited about that. So go check that out. I think she's got 9 skeins of yarn up there to give away. And then whoever that winner is, then as soon as they get their information to me, I will pass it on to her, and she will get that box of goodie yarn out to you. So definitely go check that out if you haven't. Speaking of that giveaway, this afternoon, I have been trying to get caught up answering comments, because if you know me, you know I love responding to all of your comments. I love having that personal connection with you. And so I've been busy trying to answer some of those comments. And you guys, I have somebody that, to me, gave a winner-worthy comment so far. And so I'm going to share it with you. And I don't know, I just might have to send her a stitch marker to just because this is an amazing and awesome comment. And this was her comment. And Vita Sinha says, looking at yarn, feeling yarn against my face and hands, inhaling the aroma of yarn, talking about yarn, dreaming about yarn, crafting with yarn, running after yarn, hoarding yarn, using yarn, and playing with my cats in yarn. All these activities bring me immense joy every day. There is no addiction better than yarn addiction. It is contagious and so delightful always. Best of luck to all for the giveaway. And I just thought that that was just an amazing answer. And to me, it just filled me with so much joy that I wanted to share that. So, yeah, great answer. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Roseanne. She gave a hand claps for Bree. Mare says using yarn from Bree. So lots of emojis there for Bree. Shirley says, yay, Bree, I will get over to your channel. And she has hand claps and party favor emoji. Love it, love it. Mare says, and I have yarn for a midwife blanket ready to go. Bless your heart, Mare. I don't know how you do all that you do. You just are a superwoman. That's what you are. A gifted, crafted, amazingly talented superwoman. My hero. You are my yarn hero. Which is one of the reasons I do want to promote your channel. So let me know when you're ready, or let me just do it tomorrow. You tell me. Shirley says that one is going to be red, white, and blue with camo border. Oh, yes. You were telling me about that, and I love that idea. I can't remember right off, Shirley, without your comment being in front of me, but you were doing that for someone I do know that's in the military, and I don't want to misstep who that was. So if you feel like sharing, that would be awesome. But yes, I think that's an awesome idea. I love it. And that's what's going to be so exciting about this video, you guys, is even though we are doing the same pattern, the difference in the yarn and the colors of yarn are going to make these creations so entirely different. So, joyfully delicious. I cannot wait. And I cannot wait to share. So please share with me so I can share. Shirley says, I have started the midwife design in rose pink. Hello, Carrie. It was so good to spend some time with you the other day on your live. And I am so happy that you are here with us. And she has said, hi, Cynthia, with hearts and a smiley face emoji. And again, for anyone new to my family, I do read the comments in the chat because I do have now, I used to have 5, I now have 6 joy seekers that are either legally blind or are hard of seeing. Although I'm beginning to think that's me, and I meant to change my glasses out before I came on. I'll have to make sure I do that before movie night. But anyway, so that's why I read the comments, by the way, and describe the emojis. Shirley says, I just noticed you're wearing your hat. Yes, I am wearing a hat. Honestly, I wear hats all the time. And I told my husband, I said, you know, I don't know why I don't really wear hats on my channel. And so here I am. This is one of them. Roseanne says, aw, so nice. That is a good answer. Wasn't that a great answer? Like I was not only reading the words, but I was like, I mean, literally living the words. Like that is so me, you know? And even when she talked about the yarn aroma, I know exactly what she's talking about, and the feel of it on your face and dreaming about it. And that is so me. And I'm not alone. I'm not alone, because admit it, when I read her answer, you could picture yourself. I know you could. I know you could. Shirley says, yes, my daughter. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I didn't want to say granddaughter and misstep. So thank you for sharing that, Shirley. Mare says, sounds so pretty. It does. I'm excited. I can't wait. Shirley says, my daughter-in-law, and she's a medic in the Army Reserves. Love it. Awesome. Shirley says, hello, Carrie. You know, Shirley, military people are close to my heart, have been my whole life because I've had family members that have served in the military. But when my son became a United States Marine, I'm telling you what, it's a whole different kind of love, you know? And I'm proud of him. And I know you are of her as well. Mare says, B. Now, are we back to that, Mare, with the bees? So for those of you who don't know, and I hope I'm not off line of thinking here with this, but when Mare would come and join us on movie night, she wasn't watching Longmire with us for many weeks. And she would just guess, and she would always just guess B. And then she finally watched Longmire and she started getting points. Well, you did pretty good though, Mare, without having watched it too. Oh no, I see why you're saying B. Oh my gosh, because Bree is in the house. Bree, you have to, my friend, go back and catch part of the replay because we talked about you. We're so happy for you and so proud of you getting your channel started. I mean, even there, I think you've got 3 videos now, but one that's recent. And so, yes, had to brag on you and we just had to cheer you on. So go back and see the cheers and the claps for you and folks talking about going over and checking out your channel. No pressure to put more content out, but know that we're ready and excited. And she says, yarn is my addiction. And you'll have to go back and read the comment that I read of Anvita's if you haven't already seen it on the giveaway video that went out last night. Carrie says, hi, Shirley. Hi, Bree. And Mare says, thank her for serving. Yes, Shirley. Please thank her from all of us for serving. And Bree says, oh. All right. So talking about giveaways, we've talked about all the midwife giveaways. We've talked about this special little giveaway from the support of my anonymous Yarny sister. And the last giveaway that I want to remind you about is for those only that participated in making the Longmire blanket. If you have in any way, part, shape, or form made any part of that blanket, make sure you get your pictures of it into me by July the 5th. So that gives us just a couple more weeks to get them finished up and turned in. And then I will get that video put together and then it will air. And on July 16th, from those that turned in pictures, we will have a big Longmire giveaway. So I am anxious to get that giveaway because I've been holding on to some of this stuff almost since the beginning of when we started Longmire, and we did Longmire for almost a year. So I'm ready. I'm ready to de-stash the Longmire giveaway. But I just wanted to throw those dates out there and remind you of them. And let's see. I also want to remind everyone, if you don't think you have or you know you haven't, please give me your birthday so I can recognize you on your birthday. I can't recognize you if I don't know it's your birthday. So if you don't think you've told me your birthday, please in the comment section give me your birthday. Mare says, no, it's been a rough week for me. My job is stressing me out and making me physically ill. That is not good, Mare. Roseanne says, hi, Carrie and Bree. Yeah, Mare. I think I'm going to have to turn my prayers towards where God wants you. Because I'm not sure he wants to leave you there. And if he does, we have to pray for some changes, some very big, drastic changes to take place. Mare says, hi, Carrie and Bree. Okay, so let's take a look at our question for tonight. Do you like or despise roller coasters? Do you love or dislike roller coasters? I think I said like and despise the first time, but do you love or dislike roller coasters? Hello, Trisha. Welcome in from the Purple Yarnivore. She says, hi, everyone, with a happy smiley face emoji. And Shirley says, I agree, Cynthia. Prayers for Mayor. Yes, yes. And I know I have several prayer requests up on the prayer requests on the Bible Chats video. But there are two people that I just really want to pull off of that prayer request and just ask that everybody just, bow together and just lift them up. One of them is, I believe it's Anna's grandson, and his name is Chase, and he's got leukemia. You guys, he's a sick little boy. He's 4 years old, and he has been through so much, and his wonderful mom and dad have been so supportive and right there beside him. But can you imagine watching your little itty baby just, your little itty bitty one just suffering, and doctors don't know what's wrong. And he's been going through test after test, and he's had surgeries, and I mean, they just don't know. And so I can't imagine the grief they are going through, the strength that they have to have, and yet they have no answers, and they're searching, and they're scared, and they're feeling lost and maybe even defeated. And so I just ask that y'all continue to remember Chase. And I love that their little theme for him is #chasing_life, because literally that is what little Chase is doing, is chasing life. So, and then the other person that I want to bring up to you is our dear friend, Sylvia Olivo. She has reached out to me, and Sylvia is one of my blind subscribers, joy seekers. Not subscribers, joy seekers. And she has a lot of health issues with her diabetes and some other concerns. But her daughter, Cynthia, she's 41, but she has kind of that mindset of maybe, a 10, 12-year-old. And she's the one that colored me the beautiful pictures that I shared in a Happy Mail, a couple months back. And Cynthia is just going through a really hard time. I don't know if it's the stress of, COVID and everybody being kind of closed in and whatnot, and just not being able to get out and do things. But her love for coloring right now has deceased. And I mean, she's just, throwing things away, putting them in the trash. She's hearing voices. And I mean, Sylvia just, continues to try to be strong and be there for her in the midst of all that's going on in her life. And her husband is so supportive and whatnot, although he's told her no more buying yarn. So he's not supportive in that way, but he's been an amazing, helpmate for her. And so I just wanted to lift them up. So when we pray for Mayor, if you'll remember Chase, and if you'll remember Cynthia and Sylvia, I would greatly appreciate it. And Carrie, please, please, love, we've got you on that prayer request too. Please keep us posted about finding a house and your move. I know that is just something that no one looks forward to. And while it can be exciting, at the same token, it's a lot of hard work. And it's a lot of being unsettled and not knowing. And so please keep us posted, and we are continuing to pray for you. All right. Carrie says Roseanne and Mayor, Heart, and Elephant Stampede. Woo woo. Mayor says dislike. Yes, I like the word never mind. Okay. Mayor is saying she dislikes roller coasters. Trisha says, I've never been on a roller coaster. Oh, wow, my friend. Oh my gosh, that makes me want to sweep you up and take you. Carrie says, love them. Bree says, hello to everyone. Sorry, frogging about 50% projects. Shaw on a ball is stressing me out. Laugh out loud. Oh, don't say that, because one of my future projects is a shawl and a ball. I have quite a few skeins that I purposely bought before I went out for surgery to do as a giveaway. So don't say that. But best of luck to you. I wish I was there, because if I'm not doing the project myself, I love untangling yarn. Is that not weird? But when I'm doing the project, if Mr. Joyful is not helping me untangle that yarn, it is not a joyful sight. There is no joy until he steps in and helps. Shirley says, I don't like them. I've just been on one, and that's enough. Bree says, I can't even imagine. Poor little soul. Yes. Mara says, ooh, no, poor little guy. Yes. Hello, David Browning. Welcome in, my friend. He says, howdy. Trisha says, hi, David. Carrie says, hi, David. Roseanne says, hi, Trish and David. Carrie says, we are looking at a one-bedroom apartment down from a 4-bedroom house. Wow. Just make sure you got a big closet in there somewhere, Carrie, for your yarn, my friend. Got to have that luxury, right? Trish says, hi, Roseanne. Bree says, I love, love, love the biggest, baddest roller coaster that can be found. Carrie says, hi, Trish. Hello, my adopted son is here, you guys. Hello, Trayvon. He says, hey, second mother, how are you doing? I am doing great, and I need you to come see me and bring my youngest son so his mother can hug his neck. He's been promising me a date for 3 weeks now to play the game Sorry that we played when he was a kid, and he's not shown up. So I love you. I hope your channel is going well. You guys, that's another channel. It's not a crochet channel. He's a gamer. But if you'll just go over and give him a couple thumbs up, maybe even subscribe to his channel, even if you don't watch his gaming, just give him that love and support. I'd appreciate it. I'm so proud of you, Trayvon. Trayvon, do you love or dislike roller coasters? I know the answer. Shirley says, hello, David. David says, I'm okay with wooden roller coasters, but those ones that are designed to kill you with the G forces, not so much. Mare says, my life is a roller coaster. Don't need any more excitement. Have a cat sprawled across me, loving me up. Looking for some catnip. Trisha says, hi, Carrie. Carrie says, I have a room full of yarn. Oh, no. Oh, Carrie. Well, you'll just have to get your husband to get you one of those she sheds and put it in. Oh, you're getting an apartment. Ah, ah. David says, I wish I had a pup at my feet. Oh, I have two right outside the door. One wants to come in here so badly. And I am sure you keep hearing her, which is why we actually shut the doors, because she was being a little bit vocal. So she's like, I can tell they're having fun in there. She wants to come in on this joy fun. Roller coasters. I love roller coasters as a young girl, but it's been so long since I've been on one. I don't know if I still love them or not, but I will tell you, I was a missionary in Michigan in the 90s, and I've been on a roller coaster since then because I've been a youth minister after that, and I have always taken the kids to Carowinds, which is right here on the South Carolina, North Carolina border. David, you know about Carowinds. But my favorite all-time roller coaster ride, I believe it was called the Magnum, and it was at the theme park in Ohio. So if Anna or Jen were here, they could help me. Cedar Point. When I was a missionary in Michigan, some folks at one of the churches I worked at, they took all of us summer missionaries to Cedar Point. And you guys, sometimes we would stand an hour or more in line to re-ride that ride. And at the time, it went like 100 feet straight up and then came down. It was awesome. But the odd thing about it is I am petrified of heights. I am scared to death of heights. But I loved roller coasters, and the higher the better. I love mountain climbing and rappelling off of mountains. Of course, I haven't done that since the late 90s. But yeah, in spite of being afraid of heights. So that's my take on roller coasters. Mare says, cats and yarn just go together. Yes, they do. I do miss my Callie buddy. He did love getting in my yarn. David says, vocal is good. It is good. It is good. I think a lot of what it is too is they have been like literally on my feet like slippers. And I think it's just because of everything I've been going through. They know that something's wrong. And I think right now they hear the happiness and that almost laughter in my voice. And I think it's a good thing. Like and like I said, they've been on my feet like slippers over the last couple months. Like they are literally like guard dogs. You know, they want to be right there with me. And on Memorial Day, when I fell, I'm sitting there crying, and they're literally, you know, the one thing I don't let my dogs do is lick my face. I've never been a face licker. Well, I hope I've never been a face licker, but I've never let dogs lick my face out of all the dogs I've ever had in my life. And that day I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. And they were just sitting there licking the tears off my face and literally comforting me. And one of them was literally up against my back because I'm laying on the floor, is up against my back. And then the other one is literally almost cuddled into the front so that I could wrap my arm around her, because I had to lay there for 45 minutes waiting for Todd to get home from work to help me get up. And David, I don't know where I would have been that day without those sweet animals. I can't begin to tell my Marine son. I mean, I tell him all the time over silly things, you know, watching them get their dog treats and chasing after cats outside and chasing after the birds, you know, or pawing at the window at the bird feeder, because the bird's feeder's right outside the window, and they'll stand in the window and paw at the bird feeder. But I'm constantly telling my Marine son, thank you so much for choosing Todd and I to watch after Mackenzie while you're serving our country. And but I know without a doubt that those dogs, well, Sadie, you know, she's a rescue dog, but I know without a doubt that those dogs way back when were chosen to be here with Todd and I just for this moment and this journey that we're on. So I love my furry little friends. Trayvon says, please be mindful that I do get mad in my vids. Laugh out loud. I'm not such an angel like Cynthia here. And I love roller coasters, especially front row seats. Woo, woo. Yay, Trayvon. I know. The whole video gaming world, it's a different community, but nonetheless, I love you and I support you. Bree says, get a hammock and hang it on the ceiling and throw your yarn in it. Oh, Carrie, that's a brilliant idea. Your husband may not approve, but that's a brilliant idea, Bree. I love that. Oh, that would be kind of cute. Could you see that in a craft room? That would be amazing. I mean, they used to do that. You know, you could get like the little corner nets to put the stuffed animals up in. Wouldn't that be hilarious to put our yarn in? I'd be like throwing more yarn up there and be like, yeah, I didn't buy yarn today. I don't know what you're talking about. That pile's not getting higher. That ceiling's just getting lower. I love that idea. David says, I've been to Carowinds. Yes, David, in college, because I went to Winthrop, which is right there in Rock Hill on the South Carolina-North Carolina border. And even though I was an RA my junior and senior year, I also worked at Carowinds during the summer when classes were out. And I operated back then. I don't even think the ride exists anymore. But I operated the bumper cars, and then, oh gosh, what was the name of that ride? I just lost it. The pirate ship. And it literally would go way up and swing. It didn't quite go upside down. And now they've got one at Carowinds that does go upside down. And it's my youngest son's favorite ride. And every time I ride it with them, I'm always going, why do I love you so much? I don't know why I love you so much. Why am I on this? But anyway, I always tell him he's testing a mother's love. But that's his favorite ride. So, but I dressed up as Hong Kong Phooey, and that was my favorite part. On Sundays, I got to play Hong Kong Phooey, and that was great. That was great. Hot, smelly, and stinky, but great. Talk about putting smiles on kids' faces. David says, does Michigan need missionaries? I don't know at the current moment. When I was there, and I was there twice, it was in the 90s, the early and the middle 90s. And at that time, yes, they did. When I was there was a lot of, the three biggest things that I dealt with while I was there, and mindful, I was in my early, going into my mid-20s. In fact, I celebrated my 21st birthday there, but the first time I was there. And the three biggest things that we dealt with were drugs and Satanism and kids that were just constantly kind of raising themselves, and suicide levels were at an all-time high for kids. And maybe that's some things I might need to think about branching out and sharing in my joyful life. I have so many wonderful, beautiful stories, that would touch your heart. These angel stories. Maybe after the angel stories, I can share some of those. But I've got a really good one that comes to mind. It's kind of like a love story, but it was just literally a guy and I miming and acting out an impulse, thing. And literally these bizarre names that we pulled out. There were two people standing in the audience on the beach where we were at that literally had those bizarre, one-of-a-kind names going through the exact same situation we were acting out. I'll have to share that story. I promise. I will share that story as soon as I finish the angel stories. And I'm going to write a note right now. Sorry, I know I just bumped the camera. And put it in my planner so I won't forget to share it. But I don't know, David. I'm sure. I'm sure they do. I mean, our world is, especially after COVID. My thing jumped. Sorry. Okay, here we go. David says, I see roller coaster videos and they make me nauseous. See, it's been a while since I've been on one. I'm trying to think. The last time I was on one, I went with my children, and I think that's the last year I was a youth minister because my boys were getting older, and I felt it was time that they had a youth minister that wasn't mom. And so, because I remember riding that one ride with Andrew at least 10 times, if not more, and going through the Scooby-Doo haunted house. That was great. I think Andrew, he had to have been like a freshman or sophomore in high school. And so he's been graduated. So it's probably been about 4 years, maybe 5, since I've been on a roller coaster. But anyway, I don't know. I'm a lot more cautious now, and I like walking the safe line, especially since I don't seem to be very sturdy on my own 2 feet. So I'm not sure how I'd feel about roller coasters today. I think I'm content just being safe on the ground. Trayvon says, and playing sorry sounds like fun. I might join in on this. I would absolutely love it. Love it, love it. You know, I'm always free. I can't go anywhere. I can't drive. I know you guys are busy though, but I would love to have y'all come over. David says, animals can sense things we don't understand. I completely agree, David, and I love that about them. There are so many. What? I can't read that. Cases of animals knowing their people were sick or pregnant before they did. Also, many documented cases. I completely agree with you, and that's one thing Todd loves watching is those shows where dogs, animals, not just dogs, cats. I mean, even horses. You know, have literally saved their loved one or their master's life by helping them realize that they had some kind of internal disease or something going on that they weren't even aware of, or that a child was getting ready to choke or something. It's just amazing. I completely agree, David. Mare says, so true, David. David says, if he's your son, he understands. He is more understanding than you know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Trisha says, I love dogs, but have 2 cats in my small 1-bedroom apartment. I can't fit a dog. I absolutely understand. And I used to have a Mancoon cat, and I had him for 17 years. And when he got so sick, it was awful. And Todd took him to the vet, and they called me. I was at work, and he called me and said, Cynthia, if we continue to let Callie live, he's just going to be miserable. He's suffering. And so we had to make the decision to put him down. And so Todd took care of all that, brought him home, and got a special box for him. It was almost like a porcelain doll box. I don't even remember where he found that, but he buried Callie, and so all that was taken care of, so that when I got home, all I had to do was sit on the ground by the spot and just, you know, let my grief flow. But ever since that, we've been a family of dogs. And not that we don't like cats, because we probably have, no kidding, no lie, about 18 of them to 20 in our backyard, and they're having babies as we speak. And my brother-in-law feeds all of the neighborhood cats. So about 7:30 every night, the dogs go crazy because the cats are just prowling through our yard to go back there to eat the cat food that he puts out every single night when he comes home from work. It's crazy. But it has its plus sizes, you guys, because we're known for having all kinds of crazy insects and rodents and squirrels and whatnot, and not in our yard. We don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So I guess there's the plus size of having all those cats. So, but all the little babies are so cute, and I just want to bring them inside. But I would definitely have Tom and Jerry going on in my house, except it would be a dog and a cat instead of a cat and a mouse. Carrie says, oh my gosh, great idea. Wasn't that? Bree is brilliant. Look at there. Brilliant Bree. David says, my ex used to watch video gamers on Twitch. There is a huge audience for that. And that audience is also very kind. They have raised gazillions of bucks for charities. That is awesome. Did you hear that, Trayvon? David says, when throw up. Oh, you're talking about my alma mater. Trayvon says, I love you too, forever will. And I can't wait to see you grow on here. I love the fact that you're consistent. So definitely get ready for your blessings. I love you, son. Oh my gosh. I'm so thankful for the day you walked into my son's life, because then you walked into my life and you have been blessing me ever since. And I'm so proud of you. Trayvon has been best friends with my Andrew, who's my youngest son, since they were in the 4th grade. I always try to say 2nd grade, but we weren't living here when he was in 2nd grade. We moved here when he was in the 3rd grade, and they met when they were in the 4th grade. And so they've been friends for quite a long time. They're 21 and 22 now. And so, oh my gosh. Well, Trayvon's got a birthday coming up because he celebrates his birthday the same month I do. So we have kindred spirits. We usually try to do shout outs for him and Todd and I at the same time. We all celebrate our birthday in the same month. So he was destined to be my son, but he has an amazing mom and dad. And I'm just so thankful that they share him with us. I love you, Trayvon. And thank you for the kind words you said about my channel. David says, when I was in high school, I used to drive to Winthrop for voice lessons. In terms of actual vocal technique, I would have been better off going there than Pfeiffer, but I will never regret my time at Pfeiffer. I will tell you, David, I worked at a hotel in Mooresville, North Carolina for 4 years. And of course, that meant I was driving back and forth. Crazy long drive. But anyway, one day I decided I'm going to go to Winthrop and I'm just going to visit the campus and whatnot. I was so lost. The campus has changed so much. And I did play sports in college. And I was so happy for them, but our workout weight room was literally in a musty, smelly basement, and now they have this big, nice, weight room and a swimming pool, and had none of that when I was there. But yeah, I was so lost. And then I'll be honest, I went to the dorm that I mainly lived in, and Wofford dorm, and it was an all-girls dorm. And that's where I was an RA at, although I was a RA one other time in a different dorm. But for the most part, I was always in the freshman dorm, and minus that one semester. And when I walked in, the whole lobby was even different. And of course, I couldn't go in past the lobby because I wasn't an actual student, but I wouldn't have wanted to. In that moment, I literally got back in my car and drove off campus and left. And I don't want to say that I'm not adaptable to change. I am. But in that moment, it was like everything I remembered, all those great memories, and all the many times I walked all over that campus. It's like it was gone. And there still was some of the same buildings there, but it was so different that in that moment I had to exit, because that was such a beautiful time of my life, and I had made so many wonderful friends who are still a part of my life, that I just wanted to leave those memories trapped the way they were and not try to envision them and incorporate them into this whole new world. And so so in a way, when throw up literally did when throw up and grow up. And I just wasn't ready for the grow up. So I left. So Carrie says, my old man laughed when you said, no, the pile isn't getting bigger. It's not. The ceiling's just getting lower, right? David says, missionaries as social workers, actually, their real work. Yes, yes. I completely agree, David. Um, I grew up really fast once I became a missionary. Um, I had an amazing, loving family, and I didn't realize just how sheltered I was until I went to Michigan and I went to Savannah, Georgia. Um, Even some of the things that I encountered in Fort Mill, South Carolina, when I was coming out of college, and did some youth ministry there, it was amazing to me. And then for me in Michigan, because I'm a Southern girl. I've been in the South my whole life. Born in Florida, grew up all in South Carolina. Um, it was a different culture, but not in a bad way, because I'm the type of person that I love things that are different, and I love people that are different from me. Oddly enough, something about me, and I don't know why this happens, but if somebody talks in a dialect different than I tend to emulate them without even realizing it. And I will never forget the first time I came home from Michigan and I started talking, and my parents were like, where did her Southern accent go? Because I sounded like I had been born and raised in the North, and it was amazing. But and it took about 3.5 months that first time when I came home for me to truly, you know, get my true sound back, because I don't know, I guess I just heard it so much. And even words that I would say, like pock and, things like that, it came out like I was born in that culture, and so anyway. But then there were also other things that were hard for me, in the fact that I'm a Southern girl, and here in the South, everybody's sugar honey, sweetie, and we love everybody, we hug everybody. And when I was in Michigan, I learned right quick that there were boundaries and there is space, and not just in physical touch, but in, eye contact and whatnot. If you looked at somebody for too long, I mean, they would be in your face. And I'm not saying that this is everybody, but this was something I experienced right quick. What are you looking at? What do you want? And I wouldn't even realize it. Like even if I was daydreaming, or I remember being in the mall one time, and this is really going to show my age, but this is when those lap desks came out, and they were like this hard, top, and then the little squishy pillow on the underneath side. And I was at the mall with some of the people close to my age from the church, and and in the area where we were serving. And anyway, we were sitting in the open court, and this little girl and her dad came and sat beside us, but enough of a distance because space was a big thing. And she was pulling this lap desk thing out of the big bag that it was in, the store bag. And she was just, squealing over it and so excited and thanking her dad and whatnot. And it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And in my head, I was sitting there going, gosh, I could have really used that in college, And next thing I know, her dad was like right up on me. What are you looking at? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, that is really cool. Did you just get that from that store? And he was just like, ma'am, you need to mind yourself. And I was just like so taken aback because I wasn't used to that. But nonetheless, I love people, So hopefully somehow in some way I left him with some joy so that when he walked away, he was like, maybe I was a little harsh. But anyway. But yes, David, you're so right. Missionaries deal a lot with social end things. And I could tell you stories from lives and situations that I had to grow up right fast, to saving whales. Oh my gosh, yeah. When I was a missionary in Savannah, Georgia, I had the opportunity to save a beach whale who had just miscarried. And that was an experience I'll never forget. So I have to tell you about that sometime. And if I'm brave enough, I will tell you about a story in Michigan where I actually was abducted. It wasn't, very long. My partner and I were taken only for about 24 hours before we were found and rescued. But we had to go through some intense afterwards psychological training. And I pray to goodness that my mother is not on this live, because I have never told my parents that story because I was afraid that they would never, even though I was a grown girl at the time that happened, I was 23, but I was afraid they would never let me be a missionary anywhere else again. So, Mom, if you're on here listening, well, your baby girl's grown up, and that's a story that happened a long time ago, and I survived. So God is good. Carrie says, I just got goosebumps. Mare says, how bad are you if you misplace your planner and forget to find it but plan to? Oh my gosh. I hope you find it. Oh, Mare, I would be devastated if I didn't have my planner. I mean, I know where mine is. I'm going to show you. Mine is right back there on the daybed. Oh my gosh, I would be miserable. Sorry, I hope I didn't make everybody dizzy and seasick right there. Oh my gosh, Mayor, I will pray for you because I would be lost without my planner. Next to my Bible, that is like the book of life. Well, and this Bible that was gifted to me, the Crochet Stitch Bible. Oh my gosh, Mayor, I hope you find your planner. Bree says, service dogs. I know one that senses seizures. I love that. And I know y'all probably I'm probably so far behind. Let me get caught up here. Yes, Bree. And I love that. I love that about animals. And I am all for service dogs. Trayvon says, I missed that cat Midnight. Oh, yes, our cat Midnight. When I first came to your house when I was a kid, Midnight jumped on my lap like he was cool and we was cool. When I heard that she had died, it broke my heart. Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I do miss Midnight. David says, don't get me started. The last time I drove through Monroe and Charlotte, I can't count the times I nearly caused accidents from looking left and right because of changes. Yeah, it's hard, David. And life in general is all about change. And we seem to be able to adapt better to that. But when we lived in an area and we go back and it's changed so much, it's so hard. I know even when I tried to take Todd when we first got married through Savannah, Georgia, I mean, it had only been 11 years since I'd been a missionary there. And I know 11 years is a long gap, but it had changed so much that my heart just broke, and we got lost. Oh, we got lost. And my boys were young and they were just like upset, wanting to get to where we were going. And oh my gosh, I was just like, wait, wait. I mean, it's got to be right around here. But yes, it's devastating, isn't it, David? Um, Wofford, another college in Spartanburg, also respected for music. Yes, I am very familiar with Wofford. I had a lot of friends that went to Wofford, especially some that I worked with at Camp La Vida. They were camp counselors with me. David says that imitation trait, excuse me, is an indicator of very good language skills. Yes. Mare says, me too. I pick up phrases and don't realize it. I think the biggest one I came back as a phrase from Michigan was they would always say everything was like a big dog. And I don't even know what that meant. But I would come home and I would say, oh, it's going to rain like a big dog. Oh, it's going to be hot like a big dog. I am so tired like a big dog. And my parents were like, what is a big dog? And I didn't know. But it took me a while to get that out of my vocabulary. But I did. So there's hope for me yet with the word so, if you were here with me last Friday night. I'm going to try and get so out of my vocabulary and only use it in the right context. Tricia says, imitation is also an emphatic response. Yes, I do agree. And David says, yes, Tricia. David says, abducted, I am horrified. Yeah, it was quite an experience, but that's a story for another day. And like I said, I'll have to pray about that one because I've never really shared that except for the people that were in my life at the time, meaning like the other missionary that was with me that went through the experience, the people who counseled us, the director of missions who was responsible for us, the church that we were working at. When I came home, we never talked about it. Like I literally left it in Michigan. But yeah, that was some crazy stuff. I saw some crazy stuff, but I've never shared that with my children. Trayvon, if you're still on here, that's a story for me to tell, love. But, and Mama, if you happen to be listening, because they came and saw me right before that happened. My parents came and I actually was on crutches with a cast on my leg and I just gotten it off. I think I'd been almost maybe a week out of that cast when that happened. Thank gosh, because if I'd have still been in that cast, oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. So they were headed to Vermont to see my grandparents. My grandparents at the time lived in Vermont. And so they stopped in and saw me on their way to Vermont from South Carolina. So, yep. Tricia says, oh my gosh, Cynthia, you have some unique stories and anecdotes. I think the biggest thing is God He opens my heart that when I see people, I don't see them the way most people see people. Like, even when someone is being offensive to me or trying to make fun of me, I tend to see the good in them. And it's like, wake up. They're actually making fun of you, or they're actually being mean, or I don't see that at first. Like I tend to be able to look, it's almost like I can look inside them and see their good. And that's what I zone in on. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess I should say, um, with that gift, you know, for example, I was trying not to go into any missionary stories right now, but for example, and this is way off of Rollercoasters, but while I was in Michigan, I met a young girl. She was 5 years old, and she had not spoken one word in 2 years. When she was 3, she walked in and found her father deceased. He had shot himself in the head with a gun. And she was very much a daddy's girl. And she had 2 older sisters. And oh my gosh, they were in a world of trouble all the time. And that's how I came to meet this little girl. Was I was a youth minister, and that was my calling, and that's what I was serving as a missionary, was a youth minister. And so the 2 older sisters were in my youth group, and one of them was just always acting out in any way she could, and she was hurting, and she didn't know how to deal with what they'd been through, and she was kind of having to help raise her 2 sisters because mom was having to work and bring in the money because dad was no longer there. The middle girl, she would also act out, but not to the extent that the older girl did, and she wrote poetry. And I love poetry, and I love to write, and her poetry was deep and dark. And again, it was how she was coping and dealing. The little girl, the little sister, the 5-year-old, she hadn't spoken in 2 words. She had not uttered a sound. It's just like literally the shock, like she was still in shock after 2 years. And so we were doing vacation Bible school and backyard Bible clubs, and we were getting all the youth involved, and we were going into different parks and stuff and doing these backyard Bible clubs. And while, they had never really grown up in church their life either, they were the ones that were helping to serve. And so in order for those girls to come, their little 5-year-old sister had to come. So I would get to know her, and we were just kids ourselves. We were just in our early 20s, and a lot of them were like, I'm not keeping up with her and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'll keep up with her, But I would talk to her, but I knew she wasn't going to talk back to me, but I knew she could hear me. I knew she was listening. And so, I would just casually say things to her like, well, your hair looks really nice today. Even though most of these kids that I dealt with in Michigan, even in the 90s, a lot of them, if they had decent shoes, they didn't have socks. It's like they couldn't have both. A lot of them, their shoes had holes in them. In Michigan, and I've heard it in other places too, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute, it's going to change. Well, that's true. And I can remember in July, they would go swimming, and I would be sitting there freezing. I mean, I'm wearing jeans and sweatshirts, and they're swimming because they're acclimated to the weather. They're used to it. And I wasn't. But even though when it was cold, these kids didn't have coats, And so a lot of times, and I grew up fast. I was so proud of my white, crisp, clean shirts that would have these fantastic Christian logo sayings on it. And it didn't take me long. At first it was like, oh my gosh, my shirt is dirty. I have to, wash it, And one day, and I know I've gotten off that story a little bit, I will never forget. I had these perfect little tiny handprints and toe prints on my shirt. And I kid you not, I took it off. And on my next free day, I went to the local Walmart, and which back there, they also had a store called Myers. And I think I actually got it from Myers. But I bought one of those big plastic, cheap poster board frames that you can slide a poster in, to keep it straight and protect it. And I framed that shirt so that it would be a reminder. And I kept it for a long time. I even hung it in my college dorm and then in my studios and everywhere I lived up until I got married. But I would hang that shirt up as a reminder to me that people and loving people was way more important than any of the biggest riches I could ever own. And I learned that, I was so prideful in wearing these great shirts that said these wonderful Christian, God loves you things. But did I really mean what I was wearing if I got so upset that it got dirty? And it was like in that moment, the dirt was beautiful. So I would say things to this little girl, like, your hair looks pretty today. And it could be a ratted mess, And eventually I would be able to, she warmed up to me. And I would be able to actually brush her hair. And God bless her with all those knots in her hair. I don't think her hair had been brushed in forever. And I even managed to buy some cute little ponytail holders and could put her hair up. And so it was just through physical gestures. But one day we were sitting at a table and we were waiting for their ride to come pick all three of them up. And we were playing with Play-Doh. And I was sitting there rolling that Play-Doh and trying to make it real long and whatnot, like a snake. And I said the word snake. I said, look at my snake, And anyway, she held up. She had been doing kind of the same thing, but what I didn't realize is she had formed hers into a heart. And I'm sitting here rolling mine, and all of a sudden, the sweetest voice I've ever heard in my whole entire life, I even dare say above my children's, I heard the word heart. And I froze. And I was like, don't look up. Don't freak her out. Don't scare her. And I had to make myself start rolling that snake again. And I kind of glanced over at her, and I kept rolling that snake I was making to the point it was starting to break because I wasn't really focusing on what I was doing. And I said, oh, you made a heart. How pretty. And she said, heart for you, Cindy. And you guys, I mean, in a split minute, she had said like 6 words for the first time in 2 years. And while I could tell you other wonderful stories like that, I mean, it changed my life. It changed my life. And I was no longer this middle class, snobby kid, I truly appreciated in that moment the gift of people, the gift of love, the gift of forgiveness. And I felt like, that must be what God feels like when he's trying to talk to us. And we're so stubborn. Gosh knows I am one of the biggest and stubbornest people in the world. And when we call his name, imagine how sweet our voice must be to him. And I will never forget that 5-letter word could never be uttered any sweeter than it did as it rolled off the tongue of that 5-year-old little girl. And she said it perfect. To not have uttered or guttered a sound in 2 years, she said it better than I could say it today. And it was precious. It was so sweet. And when she walked away and they left, I broke down in tears. And my partner and a couple other people came over like, are you okay? And I shared with them what just happened. And oh my gosh. Yep, I met Jesus face to face that day in a 5-year-old little girl. And I felt God's love so bold and so strong in that moment. But anyway, all right, you guys, I am so sorry. Let me go see what y'all are saying. And I got to watch my time. I got to get off here soon. I'm going to start movie night on time. I've loved this. I've enjoyed this. Wow. I do miss my missionary days. So thank you, David, for allowing me to explore that a little bit. And Trisha, because you brought that, I actually went into that story off your comment. So David says, I just finished another blue hat. What should I do next? I need a blue hat break, I think. Oh, sweet. So I'm assuming that you are doing hats for Hat Not Hate. That is a wonderful, wonderful project. And I thank you for doing that. I did it last year. I have not done any for this year. And I know there's still plenty of time that I could start. I'm not sure it's going to happen for me this year, but I do plan on jumping on that next year. So if that is what you're doing, and I assume that it is, David, thank you so much. Trista says, David, a hat break or just a blue break? Probably both, but probably the blue break. I mean, one can only have one of so much color, right? That was cute, Trisha. Shirley says, just a reminder, don't forget the thumbs up. Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Hello, Tiger Dragon Girl. She says, hello, everyone. David says, don't feel any kind of urgency to share before you're ready. It'll take a moment for the other one. Because like I said, that pretty much stayed right where it was. And because there was a lot with that. I got a taste visually into a satanic cult. And thank goodness we were rescued so early, because even in the 28 hours that they had us, we saw some horrific things. And I just don't know if I would want to bring that on here, because it definitely would not spread any joy. So I am just thankful that my Christian walk was where it was for me to be only 23 at the time, and that I truly knew that the Lord was there with us. If I didn't have that, it just, so that's the biggest thing that I want to say about that little thing in my life. I'd much rather tell you about saving the beach whale. that was a lot of joy. David says South Carolina, Michigan, Vermont. That's an interesting route. Yeah. I'm telling you what, I was thankful for my parents, because I so needed them. Because with that big old cast on my leg, my jeans wouldn't fit, and I was on a select budget, so it was really great for them to come that way to get to Vermont and buy me lots of sweat clothes. So I still have a few of my sweatpants that say Michigan. They cannot be worn anymore because the elastic in them, has rotted out and whatnot. Because I mean, my gosh, you guys, I was in my 20s. That's almost 30 something years ago. I need to let them go. But I just have such great memories. And so, but yeah. And I suppose when Mr. Joyful and I retire and we move to our little small cabin in the mountains, I'll be letting a lot of stuff go. So yeah, might as well clean it out now. But anyway, but I do still have a pair of shorts that I used to work out in. They are kind of like weightlifting shorts that have Winthrop's logo on them, and it's still when it was Winthrop College. It didn't become Winthrop University until my senior year. So I still have a sweatshirt and some other little paraphernalia that I can still wear that say Winthrop College on them. So I will wear them until I can't wear them no more. But, and of course, Winthrop's colors are like a maroon and gold. So yeah. But anyway, Trisha says, I have to run to the store. Be right back. Goodness gracious. She's probably back now. I need to get caught up. David says, I've been to Myers. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing, that makes Walmart look like nothing. David says, stop making me cry. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. Roseanne says, wow, a heart for you. Wow, I know. Wasn't that amazing? Tiger Dragon Girl says, that is beautiful. Carrie says, goosebumps again. Mare says, please thumbs up. Oh, thank you so much, Mare. And David says, my hat not hate contest. Oh, sweet. I will have to go check that out, David. Jen says, hey there. Roseanne says, hi, Jen, and thank you for sharing that, by the way, David. And anyone, if you can do it and you want to drop your link, please always feel free to do that. I'm always about supporting other channels. So please drop your link if you want to share it. Carrie says, hey, Jen, with a heart emoji. Jen says, boo, Michigan. That's because you live right close to it and you're driving into it to work sometimes. But hello, my friend Jen. I talked about your state earlier, though. I talked about going to Cedar Point because we were talking. The question of the night, if you've come in, by the way, and you haven't answered it, please answer it. Do you love or dislike roller coasters? That is our question of the night. So I'm still curious to see your answers. But I was talking about, I don't even know if it still exists, Jen, but it was the Magnum, I believe is what it was called at Cedar Point. And the summer that I got to go was the summer that it came out. And it was like the bomb diggity, you know. Now they make them so much better than that. But I don't even think it's still there if I'm correct. But anyway. Jen says, hi, Carrie. Hi, Roseanne. David says, can't tell you what I would give for Pfeiffer College memorabilia now that it is Pfeiffer University. Yes, yes. David says, I'm usually pretty pushy, but not so much here. And he says, actually, I enjoyed my days traveling to Michigan for work. Oh, wow, David, I did not know that. So I just learned something new about you. Jen says, hate with a passion, laugh out loud. She says, I live 1.5 hours from Cedar Point. Oh, so you were close. Of course, that was a long time ago. Long time ago. Like 28 years ago. So now y'all can do the math and now you know how old I am. But hold your breath because I'm fixing to turn another year. Tiger Dragon Girl says, I like rides. I cannot stand roller coasters. David says, oh my gosh, I just remembered what the big roller coaster at Carowinds was when I was a kid. It was called Thunder Road. Oh my gosh, yes. And I was so sad when they brought that down. And oh gosh, my husband could tell me. There was another one. Oh, literally, they were tearing it down when we were there one time, and it was just so sad. But speaking, you said, David, that you liked wooden roller coasters, and there's one at Carowinds that's been around forever. And the last time I was there, and remind you, it's been 4 or 5 years since I was there, it was still there, and it was still under the same name, and I can't think of what it was called, but it went around and over water. It didn't go upside down or anything, but it would turn a little bit sideways, and it would then go into a tunnel before it ended. So tell me if you remember what that was called. But love that one. Shirley says, yeah, I just finished tying in loose ends for my Victorian dress pot holders and dish soap cover. Oh, Shirley. Well, I'm going to let a cat out the bag. That's not what we're doing Sunday, but that is on the line of what we're doing in 2 weeks from Sunday. So sweet. Great minds think alike. Carrie says, hi, Tiger. I got you. And David says, Shirley picks or it didn't happen. Carrie says, 51. Very good, Carrie. I am 51. I am about to turn 52. And for 16 days, Mr. Joyful and I are the same age. And then on the 17th day, I become a year older than him, and he loves it. He loves it. What? I robbed the cradle. Shirley says, I don't know how or where to post them. Shirley, do you have a Facebook or Instagram account? Because you can always do it there and we can come over and see them. Or you can start doing videos. Look at Bree. Whoop, whoop. Shirley said, Jen says, I went as the coat and purse holder. Laugh out loud. I hear you. That was pretty much what Todd and I did. Oh. No, that was before we took them the last trip as youth ministers. I was going to say that's what Todd and I did the year we went with our youngest son's band group, and we were chaperones, and that's what we did. Yep. So we carried all the coats and the cameras and the wallets and all that stuff, the sunglasses and the hats that would fall, and yeah, that was us. David says, Shirley, I was kidding, but if you send them to me, I'll post them on Instagram. My email is beardedyarndude at, looks like Dev8Biz. Y'all will have to read that. Guys, I'm going to change my glasses out for movie night. Shirley says, thanks, David. Although I do have my laptop actually pushed further away and I'm seeing better, which that's what my glasses are for because I'm nearsighted. So they're for seeing far away. So maybe that's been my problem all along. I had the laptop too close. But still, that white on black, it's hard to read certain words. David says, I'm older than you, and I've always said I was born middle-aged, and since then, I've added 58 years. Oh, I love it. Carrie says, I'm 54. Laugh out loud. Well, we're all in the same age, then, right? Bree says, you cougar you, right? Oh, that was awful. Let's not do that again. Trisha says, I'm 46. You're just a baby. I love you. And sure, I feel like I'm in my 30s, though, y'all. So does that count for anything? In all seriousness, I don't feel like I am my age at all. Of course, some days over the last couple months, I have felt my age. But for the most part, I don't. I feel like I'm a lot younger than what I am. And I try to think about my parents, you know, when I was young and they were this age, you know, I just, because, you know, if you said I'm 50, it would be like, oh, you're old, you're ancient. And 50 is not old at all. But I feel like I'm in my 30s. So I'll never forget, it's been about 2 years ago, this kid was talking to us, and I didn't know these people very well. And we were talking, and someone says, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? And I told him that I was soon going to be 50. And the kid goes, she's lying. She don't have them wrinkle lines on her eyes. And I was like, oh, bless you, child, but I'm telling the truth. Shirley says Facebook. Oh, good. Okay. Well, if you'll share them there, we can come. Do you mind telling us what your Facebook page is? Jen says, hi, Bree. Jen says, but I was only 16, 17. Shirley says, no, I have enough on my plate, especially since I went back to beading. Oh, how fun, how fun. Tiger Dragon Girl says, I also am nearsighted. Oh, cool. So you feel my pain. The bad part is I had trifocals last time. Worst mistake I ever made. Before that, I had bifocals. That was better. But this time I said, just make them so that I can see far away. Because it doesn't matter if I had bifocals or trifocals. When I'm looking at things up close, and you'll see it when I'm doing my Bible study and all that stuff on the channel, you'll see it. I take my glasses off. I mean, half the time they're on my head. And when I go to need them, I'll be like, Todd, do you see my glasses? He's like, on your head. So, and if I'm wearing a hat, it's even worse because I can't tell that they're up there. And like I said, I wear hats a lot in my daily life. So yeah, they get lost on my head, in my hat. Oh, yes, it is. Thank you, Roseanne. She's reminding me it's 8:45. We got movie night starting. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Let me get these caught up here. David says, I had an eye checkup recently and I was so relieved to find out my prescription had not changed. Can you imagine how expensive a new pair of specs would be for me? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because these that I don't feel are as good as my other pair that I'm going to be resorting to in just a few minutes before we go on. Now, because I did get transition. I do like it where they're glasses inside and they become sunglasses when I walk outside. But yes, I do. And I would not have done this had I known what this month was going to entail, because I could still have used those other ones even though they were 3 years old, and I normally get new ones every 2 years. But time just flew by and I didn't realize it. But yeah, I mean, they're expensive. Hello, Sylvia. Oh my gosh, my friend, we were praying for you earlier at the beginning of this live. So if you get a chance to go back and listen in the replay, please do. But know that we were thinking of you. She says, hi, Cynthia. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I just woke up. I fell asleep watching The Midwife. So I just looked at the clock and it is almost over and you guys are almost done. So sorry. But not for The Midwife, Sylvia. This is Cup2Hook that we're on right now. We will be going into Midwife in about 11 minutes. So you are not late. So please, please come join us. Trisha says, you're only a few years older than me, Cynthia. I know. But you're still a baby in my eyes. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. We're only as old as we feel, right? Age is but a number. Trisha says, I just got bifocals a couple months ago. How do you like them? I like them a lot better than the trifocals. I will never, ever, ever do trifocals again. That was the worst mistake I ever made. Tiger Dragon Girl says, I turned 45 in September. You're still just a baby. September what? Because that's one of the things I also asked on here at the beginning of the live. Make sure, if you haven't already, give me your birthday, please, so I can honor you on your birthday. So when is your birthday? September what? All right. David says, I feel such a sense of entitlement when I turn 50. I don't have to do that. I'm 50 years old, right? Shirley says, and I'm the old senior in the 60s, and I am not old. My grandkids keep me young. No, you are not old. Not at all. Bree says, I'm 62, going on 25, as long as I don't look in the mirror. Oh, I love you. Shirley says, Shirley Hickman Razzie. That is her Facebook page. Thank you, Shirley. And David says, Breezel Yarn Corner. When I was 25, I was going on 62. David says, I just noticed that the hat you're wearing. Did you make that? No, it's not an actual crocheted or knitted hat. I actually bought this one in white and black from Walmart. So I don't know if you can tell. It's not actually crocheted or knitted. It's just fabric. But thank you, David. Shirley says, I have to finish the last 15 minutes of movie. Okay, go do that, and I will see you in a few minutes. David says, since you mentioned prayer, would those who keep prayer lists this weekend keep people who did not always have easy relationships with their fathers? Absolutely. Okay. All right. Carrie says, good night. Love you all. Good night, Carrie. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Mayor says, after my cataract surgery, I now can use over-the-counter reading glasses. That's what Mr. Joyful uses as reading glasses. Jen says, or 20 minutes, laugh out loud. Cynthia, doesn't read real fast. And chat feels faster than she reads. He. That is so true. Carrie says, 9:14. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, 9:14. Gotcha. I think I got yours the other day, Carrie. I did. I added you this morning, actually, to my birthday book. But I'm going to write that down and just make sure. But I actually added you because I heard it in your live the other day. So thank you for giving that to me. Jen says, night, Carrie. Trisha says, when I got my bifocals, I was so happy. I told the doctor, oh my gosh, I can see now. I'm nearsighted with astigmatism. It was an adjustment, but I love them now. It was, yes, it was an adjustment. All right. Trisha says, I'll always be 25. Laugh out loud. David says, your hat makes me want to make a new design. Oh, cool. Cool. Well, be inspired. Roseanne says, good night, Carrie. David says, the Purple Yarnivore, I was never 25, and I'm sure I never will be. Carrie says, KK, and she says, you're welcome. Trisha says, David Browning, I was younger, I was older, now I'm older, and I am much younger. I love it. David says, seriously, send me a few pics of that hat. Oh, okay, I will, because I've got your email. Got to write me a note, David. Send David pics of hat. All right, I will do that, David. All right, everyone, I have caught up on the chat. Whew. That means I talk too much. So the last thing we have, I've talked to you about all the giveaways. The giveaway I currently have going on, the link is in the description box of this video, so make sure you go and check that out. And thanks to my Yarny Anonymous sister who is helping to donate the yarn for that giveaway. And so we're going to end real quick with our Joy Basket moment. And I do appreciate everyone sharing with me what's in their cups, what's on their hooks, and their love or not so much love for roller coasters. I have enjoyed it tonight. So our Joy Basket moment is called Discipline for Life. And it comes from Proverbs chapter 10, verse 17. He who heeds discipline shows the way to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Rarely do our decisions affect us alone. Sin and love both have a way of multiplying. The Lord disciplines those he loves because he cares about our betterment. If we are humble enough to receive his loving discipline and grow from it, we can use our spiritual maturity and our learned lessons as a gift to others. Having a faith that we can share is an incredible thing. If we live unwilling to learn or yield, it can be to our detriment and the detriment of others. This is especially true with leaders in the church, teachers, and parents. Lord, convict us of your holiness. Keep our hearts from growing hard. We want to hear your voice and we want to respond. Thank you for not allowing us to wander alone, but correcting us and keeping us safely on your straight and narrow path. Has the Lord corrected or disciplined you lately? How did you respond? And did it make you feel loved? Well, guys, I have thoroughly, as always, enjoyed this time with you. And obviously, because we've gone longer than we normally do, sort of. But thank you for coming and hanging out with me. If you are not busy, I know there's a lot of excitement out in our yarning community, but if you are not busy, please just come off of this video and come join us over for movie night. Even if you don't play the game, just bring a project and sit and hang out with us and have a great time and be filled with fun and laughter and of course, joy, always joy. But if not, I love you. I thank you for coming and hanging out in my house tonight, and have a great week. And I know that some people think I might just be saying this, but I truly mean it. Be joyful, find your everyday joy, and just let your joy tank overflow. God wants us to be joyful even in the chaos of our life. And life is crazy, it's hard, but he wants to bless us always. So have a great week, and you know it. Be joyful, everyone. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. And I can't wait to see you next week. All right? Take care. I love you. Mwah. Hugs, hugs. Bye.